Hi, I'm Susan Lees. That's me. Nobody teaches healthcare professionals what to do with what they carry. That's the gap I've spent 30 years trying to close with the healthcare professionals and teams that I've worked with. Most burnout programs treat symptoms. This one starts at the root, the foundation of who you are. You developed your game face early and it's brilliant, but it was never meant to be permanent. And if you're still showing up to work every day, but you can't remember why you started, stop. This is for you. My name is Susan Lees, and I've spent 30 years in emergency psych and crisis management. I've sat across from thousands of healthcare professionals at every stage of their career, brand new nurses who still had their idealism intact, and 30-year veterans who had forgotten they ever had it. And in all of that time, the thing I noticed most wasn't burnout, it was the silence around it. The way healthcare professionals keep showing up, keep functioning, keep giving while carrying something nobody ever asked them to name. That's what I'm here to change. I've written 3 books specifically for healthcare professionals who are still showing up and still in it, but need to rebuild from the foundation of who they are. The first is called Still Here. It starts where everything else should start, with why you chose this work in the first place. Not the romanticized version, the real one. The specific moment, the person, the feeling that made you think, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Because here's what I know after 30 years. The healthcare professionals who find their way back from burnout aren't the ones who add more coping strategies on top of an exhausted foundation. They're the ones who go back to the beginning and rebuild from there. Still Here walks you through 11 deep reflection questions drawn from 3 decades of clinical practice that help you do exactly that. By the end, you'll identify your root pattern, whether that's lost purpose, moral distress, disconnection, or scattered focus, and you'll have a clear picture of your most useful next step. The second book is called Present, because rebuilding your purpose only works if you can actually show up to do the work. You're interrupted on average every 3 to 5 minutes during a clinical shift. You're managing 8 to 12 complex patients simultaneously. You're making life-altering decisions in the fragments of attention that you have left over from being disrupted. This is not a focus problem. This is a systems problem. And the answer is not another meditation app. Present gives you 3 simple clinical protocols that work on your worst days, not just your best ones. The pre-shift reset, the clinical recovery protocol, the 90-day presence challenge, built specifically for the healthcare environment where the stakes of distraction are unlike anywhere else. The third book is called Game Face, and it might be the most important one. Every healthcare professional I've ever worked with can tell me the exact moment their game face failed them. The case that got through, the patient who reminded them of someone they loved, the evening they arrived home and couldn't explain to the person waiting for them why they were so quiet. The game face is a remarkable clinical tool, but a game face only works so long until it doesn't. And when it stops working, you need more than a stronger defense. You need to finally learn how to take it off. Game Face is the book that talks about what nobody else will: the accumulation nobody tracks, the emotional cost of caring, and the deliberate practice of putting it down. 3 books, 1 complete system. Still Here rebuilds your purpose and foundation. Present gives you the focus system to show up differently. And Game Face addresses the emotional cost that everything else misses. You can get all 3, the complete Still Here series, for $74.95. That's less than 2 hours of coaching, less than a tank of gas for most of you. And it is the most complete resource I've ever built for healthcare professionals who are still in it and need to know they can stay. I want to say one more thing directly to you. Directly to you. This is me looking at you. You didn't choose healthcare by accident. Something drew you here. And the fact that you're watching this, the fact that you're still looking for a way through instead of a way out tells me that thing is still there. You just need someone to ask you the right questions. The link is below. Thanks for dropping by. Most importantly, thanks for the work that you do in caring for patients and families and your team. Thanks again.